I am infected. And this is my story with H. pylori. When I first heard the name long time ago, I did not know what it was. It sounded really exotic and tropical. I don't know how I contracted it. Perhaps in the childhood, and it's always been present. But about a month ago, I was traveling and I missed the flight. I was devastated, really upset. I had to spend the night at the airport. And, the next day I returned home and I felt great. Nothing, like a little bit tired, but nothing major. And then the next morning, so 24 hours after arriving home, I started feeling ill. Like suddenly ill. My stomach was cramping a lot. I had a diarrhea, I had terrible headache, and I just didn't know what was going on. I thought maybe I had food poisoning. So I thought food poisoning will go away in 3 days, no biggie. But so 2-3 days I felt really ill. I had high temperature for a couple of days. And then suddenly I felt absolutely fantastic. Nothing. No pain for about 2 to 3 days. Nothing. I felt so good. I had energy. I could do things. It was great. And then about 3 days after the symptoms stopped, every time I ate, I had a little discomfort. Now, it wasn't pain, it was discomfort. But as the days gone by, the discomfort was changing into pain. And the pain was growing stronger and stronger. So every time I had something to eat, I was in terrible, terrible pains. And got to the point where I stopped eating. I would only eat once a day and then suffer the entire evening. So I decided to go and check this out. Although I do not like going to doctors and I do not like, doing all these medical procedures. I believe in natural ways. I went to the doctor. The doctor did blood tests and ordered a poo sample or stool sample. And from the blood test, they were completely normal. Nothing wrong. Not even in the slightest. My liver was fine. All my blood was fine. There was nothing wrong with me. So the only other way to find out whether I have this H. pylori, which the doctor thought it might be because the symptoms were like that. I had pain. I had pain in the upper stomach in the middle and every time I ate. And that was about it. That was my only symptom. And I was tired, agitated. I felt a little bit depressed with this because, you can't do things. You are just in pain. I had headaches. So it all kind of made sense to test for H. pylori. Now, I've heard the name. It sounded really tropical before, but I never really paid attention to what it is and what symptoms it gives. And so, I was like, what the hell? I live in Thailand and, I eat on the street, but I never imagined that I would have something like that. And then I found out it's not really that I got it. I could have had it. And it's because of the stress in my body, immune system go down. I might have just made it possible for this bacteria to multiply and cause problem. Now, it does cause problems in the stomach tract. You can have diarrhea, you can have nausea, you can have constipation. In my case, I did not have any of that, but I just had terrible pain in my stomach, upper stomach. And the doctor said that antibiotics are needed, to treat it. However, because of my pain, he would advise me to go to do the gastroscopy exam to see whether there is anything wrong in my stomach already. Because in 90% of cases with H. pylori infection, they cause stomach ulcers, and stomach ulcers is nothing good. And in just a tiny little percentage of cases, H. pylori can cause stomach cancer. So I was really, really like, oh my God, Like I have to have it done and see, because the pain is so bad. So with the results, I went to another hospital where they literally did the ultrasound first to check all my internal organs, whether there's any kidney stones, liver disease, any overgrown or anything like that. And everything was fine, which was great to hear, to be honest, because, you know, I was really worried. And so gastroscopy was next, and the doctor did it within an hour, and I had the results that I have 2 small ulcers. Now they're not big, they're not oozing, there's no perforated ulcers, but they're there and they're causing a lot of pain. So I got a lot of medication. Now with H. pylori, you don't have to have gastroscopy or ultrasound. There are actually 3 ways to find out. First one, you can do blood tests, but because the blood test gives you the antigens to the H. pylori, it only tells you about the infection either was a while ago or is present now, but we don't know for sure. So therefore, this test might be like a first thing you do, and then you find out more if you see any positive results. The second test you can do is the exhaling test. Basically, you blow your air into like a plastic bag, and then they measure CO2 in this one, because this bacteria produces a lot of CO2, and then they give you a special solution to drink and causes this bacteria to produce even more CO2. Then you drink, then you blow the air to another bag, and they measure that. And if it's higher than the first one, then obviously you have it. And the third one is the stool sample, which is, you know, can be difficult for some people, but it's the most like, yeah, you've got it or you don't. So yes, I got this one. And antibiotics, doctors usually give you 2 different kinds of antibiotics, because they need to kill the bacteria, like all of it, hopefully, and also protect your stomach walls, make sure that they can rebuild itself. So you most likely are gonna get amoxicillin and one another drug. And they also give you something to stop producing so many stomach acids, because to not aggravate those ulcers, which usually is omeprazole, something like that. Then you can get something like Gaviscon to ease the pain, and something for nausea and feeling of vomiting, because you do get that a lot. With H. pylori, my only symptom was pain in the upper stomach, but some people get headaches, dizziness, pain after eating. They get feeling of fullness or like a stone in your stomach. You lose your appetite, you lose weight, feel depressed and tired and upset, agitated, because this bacteria really makes you miserable. So yeah, these are the symptoms, the things you can test with the medicated route. I believe in natural remedies, but this time I just couldn't wait any longer, and I just opted for the conventional medicine. However, I am intending to do some of the natural remedies, and for natural remedies is linseed. You do a special solution from linseed. You can drink potato juice, cabbage juice, leek juice, and mastica gum. So all those I'm going to try, and so stick around for the next video where I'm going to tell you how it went. I'll show you how I do it and the results. Bye for now.